Hi, I'm Noah with the External Relations Office here at JSC. We know there's been a ton of information being put out towards employees about JSC's response to COVID-19, and we just wanted to take a moment to walk you through and make sure you knew where to find some of the key resources in order to navigate the pandemic, trying to work through it, and the telework posture that we're in. So let me share my screen with you and take you to where it all begins. So your key resource for really anything JSC, but especially right now as we're kind of more separated, is going to be going to Roundup Web. We have links to all sorts of things, and what's probably going to be the most important right now is this box right here, the Center Response to COVID-19. So if you go ahead and click into that from Roundup Web, we've sort of set up this dedicated website to put all the info that's really important towards working through COVID-19 and eventually returning to site when there's a safe date in mind. So some of the key things you're going to see right off the bat is this no earlier than date up here. And so this is subject to change from time to time. And this is that date that Mr. Geyer announces in the all hands or in the weekly update emails. And this is, right now the date that we would go to stage 2 no earlier than. And so that's just a general planning date, but you're always going to see the up-to-date date posted right here on this webpage. Additionally, you're going to see the statistics of the number of people that have tested positive cumulatively. So this is over the course of the pandemic within 72 hours of being on site. And you're also going to be able to go right here to the COD website with their procedures and resources for how they plan to set up the site to be able to safely return employees eventually when we're at that point. So if you click there to this website, you're going to get some really great information. And so this goes over how shared spaces are going to remain safe when we eventually return to site, frequently asked questions, how cleaning is going on site, what kind of personal cleaners you can use eventually, and recommendations about how to use face coverings and masks. So this is going to be some really key information right up top. And then as we scroll down, you're going to see some other boxes. So one of the most important ones is going to be the JSC and White Sands Center guidance. And in here, you're going to want to especially check out the flowchart as one of the first few things. And this is in response to a lot of employees have asked the question, if I am near someone who's tested positive, if I'm showing symptoms or test positive, what do I do? And so on the left side of the sheet, we're going to see if you yourself have symptoms of COVID-19 or have tested positive, it's going to kind of walk you through how to report that and what to do to make sure that everyone stays safe. And so first off, it's going to ask you, were you recently on site? Because that's one of the most important questions in doing that contact tracing and make sure that we don't have that community spread on site. So if you weren't, you're still going to want to contact your supervisor, but then really focus on that isolating at home. If you were on site within 72 hours of feeling symptoms or testing positive, you're going to want to immediately contact your supervisor, and there's going to be some action for your supervisor as well to make sure that we get those buildings cleaned. If you weren't yourself testing positive or showing symptoms, on the right side, it kind of talks about if you have been exposed to someone who may have been exposed, who was exposed, or had traveled to a high-risk area. It's going to walk you through what to do in that case as well. So that is a really great resource. Some other things you'll find on this page is the detailed JSC COVID policy. So you're going to want to go here if you want to really know about kind of the nitty gritty about how JSC is navigating the pandemic. And at the bottom, the JSC Employee Assistance Program. Right now, it's really important that if you need help, if you have stresses in your life, if you're struggling, that you have someone to talk to. And so the Employee Assistance Program is a really great resource, and it's there for you if you need it. So it's down here at the bottom of this page. Going back, we're going to next look at some of the documents we've prepared for return to on-site work. And some of the information on this site, there's a lot of it. We've really tried to kind of narrow it down to really some of the key things and put it in the employee return to site flyer and the supervisor return to site flyer. So for the general employee return to site flyer, you're going to have a lot of the kind of quick information about site access, what to do if you're feeling sick, what meetings are going to look like, elevators and stairs, offices, shared spaces, restrooms, face coverings, PPE, how do you contact someone with concerns? So if you need kind of a quick hit on something, you're going to want to come to this page. And then if you scroll down, you'll learn a little more about what's open, what's closed on site, how to contact someone if you need PPE. And then in this bottom left, some of the links to some of the other sites we've taken you to, some of the really great resources. And then additionally, the supervisor return to site flyer is going to have a little more guidance on leave, on how to report if an employee alerts you that they have tested positively. And so you're going to find a lot of great supervisor information here as well. Some of the other stuff on this page that you're going to want to see is the framework for return to on-site work. And so this will talk you through, if you have questions about kind of some of the gating, it'll talk you through how we go back from stage 3 to stage 2 to eventually stage 1 as it becomes a little more safe to do so. So heading back to that page we were on prior, this main page, next up we have the virtual town halls. So if you have missed one of the town halls, if you would like a transcript, if you want to be able to watch it with subtitles, if you come here and click on the virtual JSC town hall page, we're going to have YouTube links for each of the town halls that has taken place since the start of the telework posture in early March. And you're going to be able to find for some of the town halls some unanswered questions if there was questions that we weren't able to get to during the town hall. Next up, we have went a little bit too far there, got ahead of myself. The Get Involved page. So if you're looking for a little bit of community support, you just want someone to talk to, you miss that casual water cooler talk, getting involved just takes you to a Teams page where other JSC employees have joined, and you're able to just talk about things, talk about lessons learned, struggles you might be facing, and just share advice for each other. So it's a really great place to get involved with the JSC community. Finally, we have additional info, which has some really great and important stuff in it. One of which is the gating criteria reference data. So during the town halls, there's often reference to data, and Mr. Martell shows some incredible charts that we can learn a little bit more about what COVID-19 is looking like in our area and in the White Sands area. And so this is going to be the links to that data that they're using. And just keep in mind that it does take some understanding of the data, and they kind of look through certain lenses for the town halls. But this is that raw data that you'll be able to access there. Additionally, on this page, you're going to find some great telework tips that IRD has provided. And at the bottom, you're going to find some of the presentations that EAP has done throughout the pandemic. And so some about coping with a pandemic, about resilience, about how it's kind of okay to be afraid and just dealing with the emotions. So remember, if you just need a little support, EAP is really, really going to be there for you and be one of the best resources that you're going to be able to have. So hopefully walking you through this page makes it a little easier to navigate. We know there is just a ton of info when it comes to COVID-19 out there, not only in the news media, but also from JSC. So we just want to make sure that you have the ability to find what you need and feel really comfortable working from home, whether you're an accepted worker who's on site doing some of that critical work that we really need done. We appreciate you. And hopefully we're able to make it as easy as possible as we continue to navigate the pandemic and eventually transition back into work on site. So thanks for checking this out. Hopefully we help, and stay tuned to Roundup for information as updates come. Thanks.